Om Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. For 5 minutes we will try to calm our minds. Please close your eyes and try to take away your mind from all the external disturbances. Focus on the luminous self in the space of your heart. Let your limbs be as comfortable as possible. I will chant Om. After 5 minutes, I will again chant Om. When you can slowly open your eyes. Shanti mantra. Please chant after me. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We were studying Tattvabodha. Tattva means the principle. Bodha means the knowledge. All our problems in our life is because of lack of self-awareness, not understanding who we are. And that is why this question, who am I, is very fascinating to us. Right from childhood, right from our infancy, we are setting out on a journey to find ourselves. And it goes on till the death, till the end of this life. We try to unravel our personality, and all kinds of psychological ailments are because we don't understand who we truly are. To put in a nutshell, the whole essence of spiritual life, as seen or as practiced across religions, across centuries, is that the goal of spiritual life is to understand one's own personality in such a way that there will be no doubts about that understanding. When we are children, we think we are these little bodies, or we base our existence on those little things which we get as rewards for whatever we are asked to do. It could be homework, it could be reciting a nursery rhyme or anything. Then when we grow up, we increase the aspiration. We think that if we can become first in the class, then probably we have achieved something. And all along, we try to base our personality on something which is external. We pin our whole existence to something which is external and thereby under the control of other people, not ourselves. And spiritual life in all religions, also people who claim to have spiritual life without having any affiliation to any particular religion, even they are unanimous about this thing, that we have to look inwards if we have to have a sane understanding of our personality. Now, how do you do that? One way given by the scriptures of major world religions is that you become a believer, a theist. Who is a theist? Theist is one who believes in some scriptures. If you are a Christian, you believe in Bible. If you are a Mohammedan, you believe in Quran. If you are a Hindu, you believe in the Gita or the Upanishads or the Vedas. And thereby you become what in Sanskrit is called as Asvani belief system to go along with. So these type of people are also there, and though we may not know them popularly as atheistic systems, but philosophically they are called atheistic systems. What are they? Buddhism. Buddhism doesn't require of you to believe on any particular text, to believe a particular text. Jainism, it doesn't believe in Vedas, but of course they believe in some other text, but still they are considered to be an atheistic religion. So the general perception of atheism is a person who believes in God is theist, a person who does not believe in God is atheist. But within this system of religion, there is a further division of a person who believes in a text, who has been given a manual, who has been given a code of conduct, and who has to follow it, and that person is a theist. And a person who does not believe in a particular code or a belief system is called an atheist. So if a person has got a belief system, things become simpler, at least on the face of it apparently, because you have to do this and these things. You have those commandments given to you, handed over to you, and then you have to just follow them, and then the rest will take care of themselves or itself. But what if a person doesn't believe in these systems? Not only that, a person doesn't believe in religion at all, does not believe in God. As we, people belonging to the 21st century, pride ourselves to be, we think that we are great scientists, which of course we are not, because getting some degrees in science doesn't really make you a scientist. So most of us don't have that quest of scientific inquiry, but still we pride ourselves being scientists. We pride ourselves being people who can be called as skeptics. We pride ourselves being a people who are rationalists, a people who have an inquiring mind. So this kind of people, what do? We don't go behind any religion. So then again we are left with a problem. How do we know if there is anything to know at all? That is a big question. Because once you believe a text, it says there is God, you have to realize God, you have to see Krishna or you have to see Jesus, because in Christianity you cannot see God, so you cannot see Jesus, but you can see somebody, some messenger, etc., some angel. So you, if you are a Mohammedan, you see some farishta or something like that. So you have something given to you and you go along with that belief system. But people who are scientific, quote unquote, people who have a great inquisitive mind, what do we people do? That is the question. And here is where Vedanta comes to our rescue. Vedanta doesn't require you, at least the spirit of Vedanta doesn't require that you believe in a particular system. Even Buddhism doesn't require that. That is why Buddhism is very popular nowadays. So what does it require? It requires that you do analysis. It requires that you go in a spirit of inquiry. You do what is called viveka or discernment. Now, that has been given in various ways in Vedanta. So what do we do generally in our day-to-day lives? There are many things we deal with. There are many things we handle in our day-to-day lives. Use these things to find out who you are. So, suppose you call yourself a scientist, then you have some qualifications which, on the basis of which you call yourself a scientist. Or you have some work on the basis of which you claim yourself to be a scientist. Try to analyze those qualifications. Try to find whether they really are your own work, independent, separate, without having any credit given to a generation of scientists before you. Then you will understand that no, you are just a link in a great chain. So then your whole claim to being a scientist, quote unquote, just goes away. So similarly, Vedanta says that what are we doing? In our day-to-day lives, what are the states we come across? So there are 3 states of consciousness. What are they? Generally, we are either awake, or we are sleeping, or we are in deep sleep. We are awake, we are sleeping, that means we are dreaming. Because Vedanta takes it as one and the same thing. We are dreaming or sleeping, and we are in deep sleep. That is when we don't have any dream. We have a very peaceful sleep. Now the question is, we have to analyze this. And this is called Avastha Traya. Traya means a group of 3, and Avastha means states. So Avastha Traya, Viveka. Viveka means discernment or analysis of 3 states of consciousness. Then there is another thing. We have 5 levels of our personality, 5 sheets of our personality. The grossest is Annamaya Kosha. That is the personality which is consisting of this body, bones and muscles and etc. etc. So then is Pranamaya Kosha. That is the personality which consists of your vital breath. Now how are they different? You see, you have a person, the same muscle, bone, blood, everything is there, even when the person is died. Even when the person is dead. Even when the person has died, all these things, all the hardware is there, but the software is missing. So the software part is called the vital breath. In almost all the Indian languages, there is a phrase called pranavayu. So this pranavayu somehow goes away, and that is called pranamaya kosha. That is one covering. Then there is another covering, manomaya kosha. That is the mind, which gives you all kinds of samskaras or tendencies. Why is it that in a house with the same surroundings, a person does something else and another person does something else? So modern genetics will tell you it is just DNA, etc. But anyway, there are so many things between heaven and earth that you are even undreamt of in your philosophy. Oh Horatio, Swami Vivekananda quotes it once. When he saw a person, he met a person who could tell so many things about him. Not only that, he said that you write something, and just when he met that person wrote something in a paper and gave it to Swami Vivekananda. And after 1 hour's discussion, he asked Swamiji to write something in a language which he may not understand. And Swamiji wrote something in a Tibetan language, a Buddhist mantra. And then the person said that you asked me something. Then he asked also something. And then the person said that now open the slip of paper. So in that slip of paper, he had already written the Tibetan mantra, and also he had given answer to the question which you will ask after so much of discussion. That is what was written there. So then, recounting this incident, Swamiji writes to a person in a letter that there are so many things between heaven and earth, undreamt of undreamt of in your philosophy, O Horatio, quoting Shakespeare. So there are so many things. Anyway, modern genetics has come to this conclusion as of now. So this is Manomaya Kosha. Then you have Vijnanamaya Kosha. That is the Kosha where you have knowledge and all that. And Anandamaya Kosha, blissful. So these are also 5 levels of your personality. And if you carefully analyze these levels of your personality, you will understand what is your true nature. Now, whenever we go for any kind of medical intervention, or we go for any psychological intervention, suppose nowadays almost every next person you meet is in depression. So, and otherwise the economic depression is widespread. So even this mental depression. So everyone is in some kind of depression. And when you go on when you're traveling on road, then suddenly there is a thud and there is a depression in the road. Then you understand there's a big pothole. Anyway, so with so much of depressing environment all around us, if we go for a medical intervention, we find that we get so much of medicine. And what does it make? It makes fishes out of us. It just puts us into sleep. So we are good for nothing. Then if you go for psychological intervention, so you may get a different kind of depression because you have to pay an enormous fees to that psychologist. And also that is also a temporary affair. So that is why what we need actually is to understand our personality. And this is what has been told in different ways, like God realization, Brahma Jnana, etc., etc. In various religions, it has been told as different. All the thing is that you have to understand the personality. Now, last time we saw what is a last time we saw what is the causal body. Did we see causal body? Causal body, gross body, and also what is the subtle body. We saw all that. Then we were seeing what is waking state. Now we will go to that. Now it is very important that we understand what is waking, what is dream, and what is deep sleep. So now you may all think, all of you who are awake and also mentally awake, you may think that what is the great deal about all this? So we saw organs of action, we saw organs of knowledge, and we saw causal body, and now we see the three states. So avastha traya, we saw that it is swapna, sushupti, jagrat, swapna, sushupti. Now you may think that what's the big deal about all this? What's the great fuss about all this? We know what is waking state, we are all awake. And we know what is dream, we know that. And we know what is deep sleep, that also we are aware of. So why do we at all need to think about all these things? Now here is where we need to go to science, at least the version of science which we are now aware of. Means whatever science tells us today. I was talking about a neurologist last time who says that it is very difficult at any given point of time to tell whether a person is awake or asleep. It is very difficult, in fact almost impossible, to tell whether a person is awake or asleep. Asleep in the sense sleep state or dreaming state, which is called swapna in Sanskrit. Swapna avastha means sleep state or dreaming state. Why is it so? Why is it so difficult to tell whether a person is awake or... Apparently, first of all, many people can sleep with their eyes wide open. That is one reason. Because till you go and shake the limbs of that person, you will never know whether the person is asleep or... And there are people who are having a serious psychological problem called somnambulism, that is sleepwalking. That is another thing. And there are instances where people have walked miles away from their houses in sleep. So there again, there is no way to know whether the person is asleep or waking. But neurologically, if a person is sleeping and the brain is monitored and a person is asleep, now here again I will remind you that sleep has got two phases. One is called the rapid eye movement phase, when the eye actually moves. So when the eye actually moves rapidly, and then there is another phase called non-rapid eye movement phase, when the eyeball doesn't move. Now these are the two phases. Now a rapid eye movement phase is generally understood to be the phase when one is dreaming. That is called swapna avastha here. And the non-rapid eye movement phase is the phase where a person is in deep sleep, which is called sushupti here. Now, when neurologically somebody's brain is analyzed using all those gadgets and electronic things, which is quite complicated, all these scans show us similar, in fact very, very spookily similar diagrams and charts and analysis. When a person is asleep, also when a person is waking. So now if all of us were going to have our brains scanned, and when we fall asleep, brain scan, it will produce the same result. Suppose you are annoyed, say, maybe with this lecture or with something else, you are annoyed. So the kind of neurons or the places where there will be activity in your brain will be the exact same places where there will be activity if you are annoyed in a dream. So most of us, or at least some of us, have got ghost dreams, or at least there is a dream which is a very common dream that you come face to face with tiger. Could be Royal Bengal or some other species, but you come face to face with a tiger. So in that dream, it's a very common dream, and it comes because you are uncertain of something which you are doing. Either you have got a deadline to face and all that. This Interpretation of Dreams is a wonderful book you have to read. And there are countless online websites where you have analysis of dreams. So there are common dream motifs. So this dream may make you afraid, or may put you in a combat spirit, like you may want to go and kill the tiger. The same kind of brain activity which will happen if you were afraid or were fighting when you were awake will happen when you are asleep. So practically it is impossible to find out whether you are asleep or you are awake. It is wonderful. It is interesting, to say the least. We don't know. Then how do you know? Because you can't say. It is very difficult for a person to say pinpointedly. So you remember most of the times whenever you are talking to somebody, the person feels asleep, falls asleep, and then suddenly gets and says, yes, I was listening to everything. Now it is difficult to even scientifically prove whether the person was actually asleep or not. Anyway, but what is the difference? There is some difference, definitely. No, come on, you cannot say that dream and waking state are same. Yes, there is a difference, but the difference is more perceived subjectively than objectively. And what is the difference? As last time Professor Somnath ji was telling, that when I am awake, I share a common perceptive experience with others. I see this Bisleri bottle, 500 milliliters with added minerals, and the other person also sees that. This is the thing which happens when I am awake. So there are also some kind of instances, very few of course, where two people see the same dream, but then yes, this is true, that we share the same sense experience in dream. Sense experience in the sense, same perceptive experience in the dream. All of you are watching me and I am watching all of you. I am seeing all of you. So we have this same in waking state. In waking state, we have the same perceptive experience. So that means there is some common thing. Now here, I would like to tell you a very simple way to understand our personality. Suppose our personality consists of three things. What are they? Body, mind, and I. Body, mind, and I. So just imagine that your personality is only these three things: body, mind, and I. So when these three things are there, when I am awake, I have body, I have mind, and I have I. That is, I am aware of my body, I am aware of my mind, though technically or even psychologically how many of us are aware of our mind is a big question, but still I have a mind, the mind is present, may not be in this hall, somewhere else, but it is present, and my I consciousness is there. I, this aham, this I idea is there. So when I am waking, these three elements are very much in function. They are functioning. What are they? I, body, and mind. But when I am dreaming, what happens? Oh, it's great, because when you are dreaming, You don't have to spend money. You don't have to spend time also. Suppose you want to go to Delhi, you don't need to actually catch a train. And even if you catch a train, by the time you understand, you already reached Delhi. So you see, the time and space thing is totally lost in dream. That means what? You have no body. In dream there is no body. You cannot understand your body. And you eat something, however tasty that may be, even in a vivid dream, even this PhD, that is Pizza Home Delivery, Pizza Hut Delivery, even that doesn't taste so, concretely, so grossly as it does in waking state. So the body is totally absent. So among these three things, I is there, mind is also there, because you get angry, you are happy, but body is not there in dream state. And when we go to deep sleep state, what do we see? We just see that we were in Sanskrit, they say that I slept nicely. I slept nicely. That means I had no problem. I slept nicely. I had a happy sleep. Why do you say that? Because you did not have any dream. Even when we say that I did not have any dream today, that means of probably 6 to 8 hours of your sleep, you had 3 hours to 4 hours of non-dreaming sleep, and when you woke up from a non-dreaming sleep, that part of your sleep. Only when you wake up while you were dreaming, that you remember this dream. Otherwise you don't. So you would have dreamt something, either it was a ghost dream and you woke up in the middle of the night, then you will remember that. Or you just didn't remember anything, or you woke up just after the dream, then you will remember that. But if you were not waking up in the middle of the night, or you woke up after your non-dreaming phase of the sleep, you will not remember any dream. And you will say that I had no dream, which is psychologically impossible, because dream is the psychological rest of your body. Now, so this, in dream what happens? Mind is also not there. Body is also not, not dream, deep sleep. Deep sleep what happens? Deep sleep what happens? Mind is also not there. Body is not there, mind is also not there. But you are there. Why are you there? You are there because when you get up, you say, I had a good sleep. If you were not there, who knows that you had a good sleep? So it is you who knows that you had a good sleep because you were there. But why is that you are not able to tell anything else? In deep sleep, you were there and you had a good sleep, but that is only thing you are able to tell, because actually in deep sleep, you had no experience. You did not have any experience. Why you did not have any experience? Because no mind was there. And you are saying I had a good sleep because that is the only thing you remember before going into deep sleep. Before going into deep sleep, that is the only thing you remember. That you are going into sleep. So that is why you say, I had a good sleep. So what happens? Somebody comes and gives you some chocolate or something, or some tea or something. You are traveling in a train, and then you are so nice, such a good friend. And after some time, you get up and see that you are in your maybe brief. In a brief span, you have been reduced to your brief. You understand what is brief, no? Underwear. So all other things have been taken away. So from brief moment to briefness of your life, then you understand that that tea was actually drugged, and you were also drugged. Now the police comes and cops ask you that what happened. Said, I only remember that I had some tea. Afterwards, what happened, I don't remember. It's a common experience. Similarly, when you go into sleep, you remember I had good sleep. And when you get up from deep sleep, you say, I had a good sleep. Because in deep sleep, you had no experience. No experience as we know, because there was no mind. So mind is the place where experience takes place. So mind was not there, mind got dissolved, so only you were there. So you are only a witness. You are only a witness. You by yourself cannot do. So what does remain in dream? ignorance remains. Not dream, sorry, deep sleep. Ignorance remains. And it is because of ignorance that you think that you were there. Because you separate from the ultimate reality or the broader personality. Whenever we make a differentiation, whenever we make a difference that I am separate from you, that means we are ignorant. And knowledge will take us to convergence, not divergence. Knowledge will take us to unification, not differentiation. So you think that you were different, you think you were there, and again you come back to this ignorance because you had ignorance. So that is the thing. Now we have to analyze every state of consciousness at various levels. Let us analyze basing on what we know medically, and then we will go psychologically, then we will go to philosophy, etc. So first when we talk about Jagrat Avastha. Jagrat Avastha means the waking state. We will once again study this mantra. I will chant, you please chant after me. Jagrat Avastha ka Shrotradi Jnanendriyaihi Shabdadi Vishayaihi Cha Jnayata Iti Yatsa Jagrat Avastha. Jagrat Avastha. Jagrat Avastha. Sthula Sharira Abhimani Atma Vishwa Iti Uchyate. Now Jagrat Avastha, what is it? What is waking state? Waking state is that state where you can understand or you can perceive objects, sense data through Shrotradi Jnanendriyahi, through organs of knowledge, that is ears, eyes, nose, tongue, skin, etc. So you can perceive sensory data. You can actually, what do you mean to say by that? Is that your input system is on. When you are waking, your input system is on and you get knowledge of sensory objects. So if I were to fall asleep here in this very chair and somebody were to come and remove this bottle, will I know that? No, I will not know that. And I would think that yes, this bottle is remaining there. And after getting up, I will reach for that water and find that there is no water. Because when I was asleep, this sensory data I could not get. This data of external objects I could not get. That is what Tattwabodha, the text says here. So this is your condition when you are awake. That you are able to receive all kinds of, and why does that happen? Because body is present. Because body is necessary. All these organs of knowledge are at the bodily level. The body is necessary to process or get the external data. Sthula Sharira Abhimani Atma Vishwa Iti Uchyate. Here you have to understand one thing. According to Advaita Vedanta, consciousness is the true reality. Sat Chit Ananda. That means always existing, conscious and full of bliss. There is no suffering. That is the true reality. But because of ignorance, you have understood yourself as the body. So again, going back to the classic example of snake and rope, there is a dark room and there is a rope, coil of rope kept there. And because it is dark, you mistake that rope to be snake. But rope is there. Similarly, Brahman or Chaitanya or whatever consciousness is there, and we mistake because of our ignorance it to be body or this universe. So then, Sthula Sharira Abhimani. But how do Advaita Vedantins put it? How do they express it? They say that this Atma, this soul, gets identified with a body. This soul gets identified with the body. We get mixed up, we get caught up with a particular thing. It even happens in our daily life. We see a particular serial, no? This Tulsi and all other serials were very famous. And then people are not bothered about their real family life drama, but they are bothered about that family drama happening in Ekta Kapoor's serial probably. So, I have nothing against Ekta Kapoor. She is a wonderful serial maker and also filmmaker. So, now Ekta Kapoor will make this, and then they say, oh, she did like this. Now this, she has done like that. And they are so much inclined, so much attracted to the roles and characters of that particular serial. So they are caught up and mixed. That is what happens with our lives. And that is why in Sanskrit it is called Chit Jada Granthi. Means the conscious is getting confused with the unconscious. Conscious is getting confused with the material. I am not the mobile, but if the mobile is lost, what happens? Everything is lost. So then for 2 days, I am restless, I cannot think, I cannot work, nothing I can do. And if my laptop or iPad, anything crashes, then my life also crashes. So you see, I have in an irretrievable manner confused and got mixed up with an object, totally mechanical object or an electronic object. So, sthula sharira abhimani. Abhimani means one who is identifying. Abhimana, identification, abhimani. So, sthula sharira abhimani atma. Atma that gets identified with sthula means gross. Sharira. Atma, when it is identified with sthula sharira or gross body, Vishwa iti uchyate. It is called Vishwa. So consciousness in Advaita Vedanta has been seen at two levels. The individual level and the collective level. Okay, individual level and the collective level. At the individual level, at waking state or in the waking state, Atma is called Vishwa. And at the collective level, in waking state, this whole universe that is also consciousness. There is only consciousness. We make the difference of universe and my individuality. So, in waking state, at the cosmic level or the collective level, consciousness is called Virat. Consciousness is called Virat. So, at the collective level it is called Virat in waking state, and at the individual level it is called Vishwa in waking state. Vishwa in individual state and Virat in collective state. So, in one way, all of us are Vishwa when we are awake. Did you get that point? All of us are Vishwa when we are awake. So, now this is what the Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta says. Now, let us think what happens in our body. You see, we eat. We cannot eat when we are asleep. Forget about the psychological deviation of somnambulism. That is an exception. But generally people also go and sit and eat. And then they will come out of the sleep and say that I am hungry because they have totally forgotten. These are all cases, and you can Googlai Namaha and find all these things. Googlai Namaha to search on the internet. So anyway, now when we are awake, we eat. Okay. First of all, we see sense objects. So we want to eat something, we either prepare the food or ask somebody to prepare the food, or we go to a hotel or a restaurant, or nowadays call and ask them to do the home delivery. Either case, we seek food. We arrange food and then we eat it. Now once we eat it, what happens? Food goes inside, and it's a very complicated process. Actually, the whole body is so complicated that we are blissfully unaware of it. Only when something goes wrong, we understand how dangerous it is. So the food goes inside, and then it goes further inside, then it goes to the stomach, then it goes to the intestines. Now, lot of acids come, there is lot of, have you all seen a washing machine? Of course you have all seen. So something like that happens in our stomach. I am giving you a rough example. And then all the acids and bile juice and everything comes, and it is made a nice paste, and it goes. Then we have a complete filtration plant, and then blood is created, and blood goes, and all the waste material, liquid is sorted out, solid. You just imagine, even to make you're all engineers, to make a filtration plant which can do that to such a precision, it's a big task. But our body does it day in and out, many times in a day. So it will take this, it will make it as a urine, it will take it as stool and all that. And even when we eat, in our mouth itself, tongue has got certain perceptions. It can take away impurities to some extent. That is why when you take chana, chana is full of this kankad, no, this stone. So the tongue immediately brings it out. Because the taste buds, they say that this is not food. It throws it away. Anyway, so this filtration goes on at all levels, and then there is this appendix where so many things which are unwanted goes and stays there, etc. And it bulges and you have to cut it. Once this happens, then this blood goes, and your heart is continuously pumping blood. It is purifying, again this kidney is purifying blood, and so many things are happening. So when I am talking, what happens? How many people know that sleep actually requires some energy? Because this I don't think people know. How many of you know that sleep, we think that sleep means no energy is wrong. Sleep requires calories. Okay, if you want to sleep, you also need some calories. Exact calories may differ from conditions to condition. Maybe in air conditioned room, your calorie requirement may be less. Summer it may be more, winter less, etc. For an Indian less, for an American more, etc., etc. But if you are sitting in a chair, your idea is you are not wasting any calorie. But don't become a couch potato, but still when you are sitting also you need calories. So sleep exactly doesn't mean that you are not spending any calories, you need calories. Well, what happens is, then when I am talking or when I am walking, I am exerting, particularly when I am doing exercise, I am doing some heavy bodybuilding or something, I am exerting. Now all our muscles or these tendons, they kind of break. Muscle tissues, they break. When you do rigorous exercise, the tissues, they tear. Okay, so a person who does exercise has to have a very good gap of non-exercising period. So suppose you are exercising for half an hour, you should probably have 7 to 8 hours of no exercise. And also you should have good sleep. Why? Because the sleep is the time when all these muscle tears are repaired. So what happens is, to put it in a systems language, sleep can be considered as a time when your hardware is being repaired. And deep sleep can be considered, or dream sleep can be considered as a time when your hard disk is being defragmented. I think you get the idea. So this whole thing is defragmented in dream sleep, and in whole sleep your body is being repaired. It is being repaired. All kinds of eyes, for example, it is getting, and heartbeat, it slows down in deep sleep. In deep sleep, heart slows down. And it is interesting to know that in yogic practices, people who are accustomed to do meditation or even do yogasana, etc., you can actually reduce your heartbeat. So there is a monk who was, admitted to a hospital because he was feeling some pain in the heart, etc. And then doctors came and checked his ECG, and then they saw that his heartbeat is very, very low. So they gave some big, I forgot the name, there is a name for that. So they said that this is what you have got a low thing. So the worst case of that is that you will have to put a pacemaker and all. If it goes for a long time like that, then you will have to put a pacemaker, etc. So then there is a monk who is a doctor. So he came and he said that no, it is all wrong, because for sadhus it is very common. This is common. Because sadhus, first of all, they have not married, so half the problem is over. I am not saying this. Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi said, 50% problem is over. Then many other things are not there. So sadhus generally have no tension. Lene ka bhi nahi, dene ka bhi nahi. So and they have a routine life, and they do this meditation, etc. So this heartbeat reducing is a normal thing. Otherwise that sadhu would have been put into serious medication and everything would have backfired. So this is possible. And there is a branch of neurology which is called neuroplasticity, which actually is a branch of medicine, neurology, which says, in fact they do it, that a person's whole nervous system can be changed physically by changing lifestyle. That is, by altering your sleep cycles, by having regular habits and doing meditation, concentration exercises, etc. You can actually change the structure of your central nervous system. You can again Google Nama, neuroplasticity. Don't believe anything what I say. You can verify, subject to verification. No? Not necessary to verify, but you can verify. You should verify. So then you will be able to know more about the subject. So why I am telling all these things? Sleep or deep sleep, in sleep what happens? That is the time when the body actually does things which it could not do. It is like when you all seen Formula 1 racing, when the car goes to the pit, that's what it called, no? Pit. So they immediately change the tires and put some grease and all. Within that short span of time, they rejuvenate kind of car. And also the driver, he also drinks something, etc. So that is the kind of thing sleep does to our body. If you are not having digestion, there could be many reasons, but one simple reason could be that you are not having proper sleep. If you are feeling irritable, that could be many reasons, but another simple reason could be that you are not having sleep. So most of our problems can be solved if you have proper sleep. So sleep is it can never be overemphasized. Sleep is very important. This is what happens in the physiological level. At the neurological level, what happens? Oh, now we were first talking about waking state, right? So in waking state, this is something that I can take food and I can eat. As it is told in this Tattwabodha, all my sensory perceptions I can do. I can read books. I can actually go to a place. But here again, I am bound by my space-time constraint. So if you ask me now to go to New York, it will not be possible. Even if you ask me to go to Kolkata, it will require 3 hours at least to go to Kolkata. So I have been bound and I need 3 hours by a car. So I need a car, a good this thing and all that. So space-time immediately binds me. That is waking state. So it's a very gross thing, very gross thing. And sleep, there the space-time constraint is removed. No, it is not like that. So that is what you see, the person. Now we have to understand, analyze. It depends on that. So even now you think that it is according to your desire. It's a pertinent point that he has raised. We all think that when we are awake, it is according to my desire I do. Okay? Okay. If there is a smoker here, a person who smokes, and the person wants to quit smoking, Mark Twain wrote very famously that I quit smoking 100 times in my life. So is it according to your desire that you do? And people who are like crazy about junk food, no, pizza and burger and all that, Starbucks and whatever. Starbucks may not be exactly junk, but kind of. So overdose of everything is junk. So And people who are addicted to watching serials or video games, are you exactly rationally, like who may actually want to waste 4 hours or 5 hours of day, every day in and day out on watching serials? It could be anything. It could be Big Bang Theory, or it could be anything, the Game of Thrones or whatever. So you get the idea. We don't want to watch, waste the time, but it is so irresistible. That means what? I have no control on my mind. So we may like to believe that in waking state, I do everything according to my desire. But quote unquote, yes, according to your desire you do, but desires are not according to you. They are owning you. You don't desire that, they actually desire you. You are consumed by your desires. That is the fact. Similarly, the other part is also true. To say that I cannot control dreams in my sleep is because we have not tried. It can be easily done. Easily may not be that easily, but it can be done. If you are always conscious of yourself, and if you can cultivate this consciousness, you can control all the states of consciousness. It has been proved across religions, out of religion also. People who have never believed any religion also have proved this, that you can control your states of consciousness if you are aware of your personality. For example, if you are constantly aware that I am a, say, physics professor, and you suddenly end up giving some examination or taking some examination in dream, it may be for some split second, but then you will understand, I am the person who sets the paper, why am I taking this exam? And suddenly you will understand. So this consciousness has to be developed. What we saw in Kathopanishad also, we have to be always alert, we have to be always mindful, and then the sleep also will no more be a sleep. Dream also will no more be a dream. Swami Vivekananda in one of his poems says, dream but truer dreams. So what should our dream be? Not to grab something which will die, not to get some money which will go away, but to understand me, to have full hold of me, to become the most powerful person on the earth. Who is a powerful person on the earth? Who knows himself, who is not bound by anything. I am not, see, I have quoted this and you all know that Alexander came and then he said to a sage who had only that kaupina, one loincloth, he did not have anything, that you come or otherwise I will chop your head off. And said, you are a fool. You don't know what you are talking, because you kill this body, you cannot kill me. So these are the people who don't fear this kind of material destruction. And what kind of freedom it will bring? Tremendous freedom. Once Swami Saradanandaji was going in a ship when he was coming from the west, in the west, he was going in a ship. And then the ship got into a big hurricane, a big storm, sea storm. And everyone was, getting upset. And he was calmly sitting on the deck. And then the person said, what are you doing? Then said, what should I do? Let the ship first capsize. First let the ship sink. Or should I jump before the ship sinks? So that is the idea. You should be very calm to the point of a fault. The same incident happened when he was in Belur. He was going in a boat over the Ganges. And then he was, those days, this hubble bubble is this hookah. He was having a smoke of hookah. And then there was so much of storm, and the boatman the person who went along with him got so much upset. He took the hookah and threw it in Ganga. He said, Arey, you are not upset at all. So why should anyone be upset? Because this being upset, this worry sucks away all of your power, all of your thinking, presence of mind. You are totally upset. Why is it that when we have a nightmare of some ghost, we are not able to talk, Suddenly we lose all our sound. Because you are afraid. When you see a robber, you keep quiet. You don't talk anything, because then the person may kill you or something. That he takes everything and goes away, and then you keep quiet. Because you are afraid. So these kind of things bog you down. That is why the Vedanta tradition says that you should know what you are. Like Thich Nhat Hanh, he has written a wonderful book, Miracle of Mindfulness. You have to be mindful always. You have to understand who you are. Always you have to think of that. And then you can. The famous movie Inception was partly based on the book The Art of Dreaming by Carlos Castaneda. I have told you this, I told you last week also. So you can actually modify your dreams. You can actually influence your dreams. Don't try that. You may end up in a lunatic asylum, but I'm telling you, it is possible, but there is a whole process. There is a system. You constantly practice self-awareness and then you can do. So sleep is psychologically important, neurologically important, and physiologically also important. And sleep, you have to understand what is sleep. That is the place where body is absent. Waking state, body is there. Sleep, body is absent. And mind and you are there. So in body, mind and you, waking state, all three are present. And in sleep state, that is dreaming state, only body goes away and mind and you, that is ego, remains. But what did Freud do? Freud had a contribution in interpreting dreams, but he also did a mistake, or rather he generalized too much of generalization, that everything can be traced to the sexual instinct or libido, he called that. Then his own disciple, Carl Jung, came and then he said that no, I don't believe in that. Not everything can be traced to libido. Of course, there were some other differences also. So this is what we find, that dreams actually they talk about what is there in the mind. Now in waking state, what is prominent is our body. So in waking state, when I see somebody, I see that person's body. And also me, I am conscious more of my bodily appearance. How I am looking, how much of cream I have applied, how much of paint I have put, etc. All these kind of things. But interesting, if you have noted, when we are dreaming, suddenly the body goes out of the picture. If you have dreamt somebody and I were to ask you what dress he or she was wearing, it is difficult for us to remember. In fact, if I ask you what you were wearing, it is very, very difficult for you to remember. But then you will be able to tell me that that person was loving or that person was angry with you and you were angry or you were loving to that person. So mind becomes prominent in dream. It is mind which is very important in dream. And whatever is there in mind. So if you have some anxiety, you have some fear, you have some unresolved issues, all those things crop up in dream. And that is why dream is a very good tool to analyze a person. And as I was telling last week, in homeopathy, dream is used to also physically diagnose a person's ailments. Because certain dreams come when certain ailments are there. They can be correlated. So this is about dreaming. Now we will see what the text says about dreaming. Please, you can chant after me. Swapnavastha keti chet jagrat avasthayam yad drishtam yat shrutam tajjanita vasanaya nidra samaye yah prapanchah pratiyate sa swapnavastha सूक्ष्म शरीर अभिमानी आत्मा तैजस iti uchyate. So in the individual level, in the waking state, the soul or consciousness is called Vishwa. At the collective level, in the waking state, the collective consciousness is called Virat. At the individual level, in sleep or dreaming state, the consciousness is called Taijasa. And in deep sleep state, at the dream state, collective consciousness is called Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha. It is called Hiranyagarbha. So, what does the text says? What does the text say? It says that Jagrat avasthayam yad drishtam. Whatever you see in the waking state, Jagrat avasthayam yad drishtam. Whatever you see in the waking state, not dream state, waking state, yad shrutam. Whatever you hear in the waking state, that means all the other three also. Means all the 5 sensory perceptions, whatever you see, hear, taste, touch or smell in waking state, tajjanita vasanaya, that leaves an impression, that leaves a trace in your mind. Nidra samaye yah prapancha pratiyate sa swapnavastha. So when you are asleep, you prapancha pratiyate, a universe appears before you. An universe appears before you which is based on your waking experience. That is why you see something which is totally impossible. Something totally impossible. Like you are now here in Kolkata, suddenly you go to some particular auditorium in Chennai IIT and already you are lecturing. And the difference in time is almost nil. Suddenly it happens. Why? Because this is based on what you actually experience. And it can be further complicated. You mix up 2 things, totally unconnected 2 things, and you put them together. Like your childhood friend in that same childhood state comes and sits in your classroom in IIT. It is impossible because the childhood friend would have become old and all that. But that is how you see it, the dream, no? And your teachers who taught you are sitting here in IIT. Like that, these are all very common dreams actually. These type of dreams are very common. So you see all these kind of very impossible, improbable combinations because they are based on your waking experience. Waking experience, they create a universe. So every time you go to sleep, you are creating a universe. Every dream, you are creating a universe. Based on what? Based on the data. So it is some kind of permutation and combination of the sensory data you get when you are, it's like jumble. Now you are given a word and the word is suddenly jumbled and everything is in a jumble and you don't understand. And that is why psychoanalysts, clinical psychologists, they are trained to unravel this jumble, solve this jumble, find out what exactly. So a dream may have various elements and you tell them the dream, they will tell you, oh, you have this problem, this problem, this problem. And all these elements in the same dream may be totally unconnected. So what? Prapancha, you create a universe in your dream. You see something in the waking state and you create a dream. Every time you are creating, it's interesting. So in fact, your dream, what you can do is, you can analyze your dreams. It is always good that you maintain a journal and call it a dream journal, a diary where you write down what dreams you got. It is very serious for your also spiritual life because dreams will tell you what is the condition of your mind, What is your psychological profile? And if you are a person who is insecure, insecurity is a very common thing. You can actually solve it by analyzing, by contemplating on that, and you can stop dreams. I have myself done many such and also help people to do. Other people also I have helped to do. So you can stop. So you have to write down. So this is also one way of analyzing yourself. How to analyze? When I am waking, we can do that. In the morning, 5 minutes. In the evening, 5 minutes. I can think, what did I do today? Whom did I hurt today? What was the mistakes I committed today? And then in the morning I can think, what would I do today? What is the plan? I am going to do these things today. I am going to ask forgiveness from such and such person, etc. So that will help. And also dream. Also we need to record and keep a diary and maintain these dreams. So these things are very important, and that is why in religious life people give a lot of importance, particularly the devotees, devotional people, of having dreams of different deities or guru. Sometimes these dreams could be not natural but supernatural, but we are not talking about that. Naturally people will get some dreams, because that is what you are doing in the waking state. Whatever you are doing in the waking state is what you will see in the dream. And whatever you talk, whatever you do, that is what you will have impression. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, a person who eats garlic, whatever we do, that is what makes us. All of a sudden you cannot become something which you are not. If you pose, you cannot. So that is why dream analysis is very important. Instead of paying some money to somebody, you can do it yourself. Because nowadays, a lot of resources are available online. You can do it yourself. Maybe get some help from somebody. But generally you do it yourself and analyze, why are you getting this dream? You may think that you like somebody, but in the dream you may be killing that person. It's quite possible. So this is what. So every time you have a dream, you are creating a universe. You are creating a universe. Now we go to the deep sleep state. I mean, we see what is there. Don't go to deep sleep. We just see what is there in the text. Ataha shushuptyavastha ka aham kimapi na janami sukhena maya nidra anubhuyata iti shushuptyavastha karana sharira abhimani atma prajna iti uchyate. So aham kimapi na janami means I don't know anything. Sukhena maya nidra anubhuyata. I experienced sleep with happiness. Sukham swapsvamaha. I slept happily. What does that mean? Means I had nothing. No, I explained to you some time back that I did not have any experience. Why? Because there was no mind. The substratum, the basis of experience was not there. So I don't know. I just know that I slept and I had a wonderful sleep. This is called Shushupti Avastha. So what remains here? Only you remain here. That is your ignorance. Your individual conception remains, but there you don't know that you are the body or you are the mind, which you are not. You are not the body and mind. So you go there. Now this is another area of all the three states of consciousness. Deep sleep is very important. Why? In all ways it is important. Even physiologically it is important, neurologically it is important, psychologically it is important, and of course spiritually it is important. That does not mean that you go into deep sleep. But what does it mean? First of all, I told you that at the waking state, in the individual consciousness level, The individual consciousness at the waking state is called Vishwa. Collective consciousness at waking state is called Virat. And the individual consciousness in dream state is called Taijasa. Collective consciousness in dream state is called Hiranyagarbha. And individual consciousness in deep sleep state is called Prajna. And the collective consciousness in deep sleep state is called Ishvara. Now, there is another thing. We don't think of such questions. It may also seem absurd to most of you. But now I see you because of sources of light. There is so much of light, so I am able to see you. Tube light is there. Okay, so tube light does not need a separate light because it itself is self-revelatory, like sun. Sun does not need a separate light. It is self-revelatory. How do I see objects in dream? Where is the source of light in dream? But I do see objects, right? How do I see it? Where do I get? Huh? No. That's what. How do you see that? So that is why Vedantins, Advaita Vedantins said that it is Taijasa. Means it is effulgent. This effulgence of your Atman there is actually a description like that. That the effulgence of your Atman or consciousness gives light so that you are able to see things in dream. That's why I in the beginning told that it may seem kind of absurd to you, but there is a thinking of this kind also. Now in deep sleep state, what happens? Now deep sleep state is different from waking and sleep state. I was telling you that neurologically, if we were to study our brains while we were asleep, that is dreaming, or awake, you would not find any difference. But when you are in deep sleep, that is the non-rapid eye movement phase of your sleep, there is lot of difference between waking and sleep states, or dreaming states, and the deep sleep state. What is the difference? The brain is almost shut down. Almost, of course. And the heart beat reduces to a very, very, very significant extent. All the metabolic activities of our body almost goes to a standstill. Almost. Because you are alive, breathing goes down to a great extent. Now what most of the meditative practices of the world do is to induce a deep sleep state consciously. Even when you are awake, you try to take you to a state of deep sleep. But they don't do it just like that. They take you to that state and make you meditate on your higher nature. It could be anything, depending on the religion or the belief system. But what is done is, in meditation, you are being trained to go to deep sleep state even when you are awake. So there are lots and lots of studies on meditation thanks to Buddhism. Because Buddhism became popular in the West, and in the West there is a lot of craze to study everything. So because most of the people don't believe in some faith systems, so this has been studied, particularly Zen Buddhism practitioners, and there is a wonderful book by one person called James H. Austin, Zen and the Brain. It's very simple but very, very bulky book. I don't know whether you have it in your library. Zen and the Brain. And I think it is available for download also, though it will be piracy. So there it has been, he is a neurologist, and it has been shown how Zen practices or meditative practices can significantly change your physiological patterns, can change your neurology, etc. So when we are in deep sleep, what happens? Deep sleep is like coma. It is like coma. In coma, what happens? You have no experience because your mind does not function there. Your body also is not there and your mind is also not there. Only you are there. So after coma, you come out and say that, oh, I was ill, what happened? So no, nothing happened. Only 2 years has passed. That's all. In between 24 months have gone. So you have this theme has been taken and exploited. I mean, what you call beaten to death in almost all the films. No, some people go into coma or amnesia and then come and then etc. etc. So this coma, deep sleep is coma. Deep sleep is coma. So can we induce coma? Means can I go to a state of mind where there is no mind? That is the question. That is the question. Because problem is mind. Dil ka mamla hai. No, anesthesia does not do. Because in anesthesia people can dream. So how do I do that? How do I train my mind so that my mind goes away? Now, deep sleep, all said and done, is also within ignorance. Deep sleep does not make you illumined. It does not give you enlightenment. While you go to deep sleep, you are a fool. When you come back also, you are the same fool. Gobi ka fool. So it doesn't give you any kind of enlightenment. So that means it is not like samadhi. Though apparently it may seem, but it is not. Because in samadhi also there are no thoughts. In deep sleep also there are no thoughts. So they are not samadhi. But that is the closest we go to samadhi. And that is the reason why deep sleep has always been a thing of intrigue, an intriguing affair, a mystical, mysterious affair to all people connected with neurology, psychology, mind or spirituality. That is why you will see in all religions there is a lot of hullabaloo about deep sleep. And in the recent past we had Ramana Maharishi who came up with this catchphrase, who am I? In fact, he asked that question in Tamil. Naan yar. And he wrote some great texts in the form of poetry in Tamil also on this subject. Basically, he proceeded from Advaita Vedanta. Not complicating things. He used to just ask some questions, seldom talk, and put people into modes of self-introspection. He used to just ask people to think. In fact, I met a person who had met Ramana Maharishi. He was a teacher and he went and met Ramana Maharishi and he just said, Summa iru. Means be. Summa iru in Tamil means, in Hindi if I translate, aise raho, aise hi raho. Or in Bengali if I translate, emni thako. That means a person wrote a compilation of the teachings of Ramana Maharshi and there he gives the title, Be As You Are. That is Summa iru. And this man, he went to his house and there is, in southern India, particularly in Tamil Nadu, if you go to a house in the olden state of things, there used to be two places like concrete places for sitting, and that is called in Tamil as Thinnai. So he stayed there, slept there all his life and died there and never talked and seldom took any food. Very rarely used to eat. So he constantly, and when I met him, he was very old, almost dying. But his eyes were so, so sharp and clear. And you could see that the person was very alert. though in a very frail body.
He was not weak.
No, weak, he was weak. That's what frail body means. He was a weak body, but he was alert mentally. So, that kind of mode, and Ramana Maharshi had this power. So, he used to ask people to self-introspect. And he, of course, used to talk a lot about this deep sleep. He used to say that in deep sleep, you see, you are having a blissful experience. In fact, you don't have any experience, but you are happy if you get a deep sleep. Why? Because that is the closest you go to understanding your true nature, that is full of consciousness. Only difference is there is a what? Ignorance. There is a thin curtain of ignorance. Now, how do we understand this? Let us suppose that there is a room, and that room has got a partition, complete floor to ceiling partition. And in one part of the room, there is full of light. And in the other part of the room, there is no light. Okay. So a room, huge room, with a partition which is from the floor to the ceiling. One part of the room is full of light and another part is completely dark. And suppose there is a small hole in that partition. What will happen? This light will come from this room which is full of light to the part of the room where there is darkness. And that is what happens when we go into deep sleep. We are in darkness all the same, but whether this small light which comes, will it be able to illumine the whole part of the room which is dark? No. Even there, if you go to some corner, we would need light. We cannot read books in that room, in that part of the room. But it will tell us that, see, there is a scope of light. So similarly, when we are awake, we have got so much of problems. So to get rid of the problem or to get free from the problem, we go to sleep. Maybe also taking some sleeping pills, which many people do nowadays. So take so many sleeping pills and go to sleep and see that the problems have only followed you there also in dream. But when you go to deep sleep, you are very happy. And then you get up morning, wow, wonderful sleep I had, deep sleep. So I had wonderful sleep. Sukhena maya nidra anubhuyata. I experienced sleep with lot of happiness. Wonderful sleep. Why that wonderful came? Why did that misery leave you? Because that particular, you went near that hole in that partition. And that hole is coming from your true nature, which is full of bliss. And that is why you feel happy. In fact, your body also feels rejuvenated. Your body also feels restful. Say, yes, now I am full of energy. Your mind also feels restful. And that happens because you had that inkling. You saw light at the end of the tunnel. That is why you feel this. So, Ramana Maharshi used to encourage people to think on this aspect of deep sleep. He used to say that just imagine that if you can extend that happy phase of your 3 states of consciousness, how wonderful it would be. That doesn't mean that he was saying that go into deep sleep. What he was telling was, he was asking us to go into a system of spiritual practice which will take us beyond these 3 states of consciousness and establish us in our true state, which is called Turiya. Turiya means a state which is beyond these 3 states of consciousness, and that is what happens when somebody gets a transcendental experience or samadhi. Samadhi not by taking any LSD or ganja or hashish, etc. Not that kind of samadhi, not that ecstasy, but ecstasy where you actually go beyond your perception of yourself as body, mind, etc., etc. There you see you not in these three states of consciousness. And that you can do when you understand that you are nothing but Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. You are nothing but consciousness, bliss, and always existing. You are always existing. Sat means always present, conscious, and bliss. So that is what Ramana Maharshi wanted to do. So this Sushupti Avastha is very important, because it has been seen that if people can regularly meditate, diabetes is cured by just meditating 20 minutes a day. Imagine. It's all proved, and there are a lot of documentation on this. Again, Google Nama. Then you have hypertension. All these what we call a collection of diseases which are nowadays called lifestyle diseases. Diabetes, hypertension, then all kinds of cardiac complaints, etc. All these can be cured just by meditating for 20 minutes. Of course, you have to go to some practitioner, get your this thing. And across religions, it is not only with Hinduism or Buddhism or Jainism. Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Islam, Christianity, all these religions, they have different meditative practices. You do those meditative practices for 20 minutes a day, but religions obviously have these not for getting free from diabetes, or they have it for you to go to the highest truth. But even if you don't go to the highest truth, if people can even have it at the physiological level, it has a tremendous result. It has a tremendous impact. That is the role of Sushupti or deep sleep in the physiological dimension of our personality. And in the psychological dimension of our personality, it has got a tremendous role. In fact, people, whenever people have any kind of psychological ailment, generally people try to, the medical practitioners or also clinical psychologists, they try to increase the duration of the deep sleep. And that is why they put that person into sedation much. That one of the logics behind that is, so that is the time when your psychology is, as I said, your hard disk gets defragmented. So you need that restructuring of your psychological profile. And in neurology also, that's what I was talking about, neuroplasticity. All kinds of neurological complications, most of them are seen. Now that is it is a comparatively new branch of neurology, and it is being seen that many things can be cured by no surgical intervention, but by having this kind of meditation, yoga, etc. So Sushupti is very important. And now we find that in Ayurveda, we have solutions to this. How does a person get the maximum Sushupti segment in a sleep? Sushupti phase, or that non-REM phase of sleep. How does one get it maximum in sleep? So before going to sleep, 1 hour before, you try to prepare yourself for sleep. So many things are there. So some people can have a tub of warm water and put their feet there, or you can take a glass of warm milk. So don't get into any argument 1 hour before sleep. Don't go into any great intellectual pursuit 1 hour before sleep. Don't watch some kind of movie. Means don't give strain to your body, brain, mind, anything. And make yourself, and also in night time you should not take lot of food, which I don't know why nowadays people are, now it is marriage season, everybody is taking lot of food, overstuffing food. So if you do these things, then you will get wonderful sleep. And if your sleep will be nice, automatically the deep sleep portion will be more. So all of you will be already feeling sleepy. So today, that's it. Any questions? Yes. Yes.
One question is, what is the significance of this cumulative consciousness? This is number one question, at different states. And the another one is that, as it was told, that there is no experience in the Susupti, but unless there is an experience in Susupti, how one says that
I told you that is the experience which I gave you examples also. That is the experience which is just before you go to Sushupti, you have gone into sleep. That is what you remember. Just like a person has a blackout. Suddenly a person is talking to you. I gave you the example that somebody gives you tea, you are drugged. What do you remember? You just remember that I had tea. That's all. That is what you will remember. When somebody has a blackout, goes into coma, you just remember that I was walking and I don't remember. Suddenly I found I am in hospital. So when you went into sleep, immediately afterwards you went into deep sleep. So you went into sleep is the only thing which you remember. In deep sleep there was no experience. That is why you say that I had a good sleep.
Good sleep is deep sleep.
That you say why? Because you remember only that you went into sleep. That's what. And cosmological principles are what are that collective consciousness. That is Vedanta cosmology. Like here in science we have different kind of cosmology. In Vedanta there is cosmology, and that is what is this collective consciousness is. In waking state it is Virat, or in what you call Swapna state it is what? Hiranyagarbha, and deep sleep state it is Ishvara.
But they are linked on the collective and the individual.
Definitely. There is no collective and individual. There is no differentiation. There is only consciousness. Any questions? Yes.
So we can say like dream inside dream.
Yeah, it is there. It's very common also. It is, on an average, you can say that almost everyone has got one such dream in lifetime. Have you got such dream? It's a very common thing. That you dream that you went to sleep and then you dreamt something and got up and then you were still in sleep. And also dreams can go into years and months. Dreams is a fascinating subject, believe me. So it can go into years and months. You are dreaming that you dreamt and then you went, and in 1 hour you can dream 1 year. It is possible. And there are many common dreams, like you are being chased by somebody, you are dying, ghost dreams, you are falling, you are naked, and then you are giving some examination, taking some examination. Then you don't know any questions which have come. And in this dream, almost every time the person will remember that, oh, now I am an IIT. Why am I dreaming this? This is also a very common thing in that dream. Then you will be taking some 10th class examination. Like that. So these dreams are very common. Like tiger, that is also a very common dream. Any other question? Yes.
Sometimes we can dream some future. So that will happen.
That is called extrasensory perception, and this is a supra normal thing. We don't have any scientific thing behind that, but it is seen and it is very common also. Like you see, and I know people who can see things 2 years before, 3 years before, and in tremendous detail. And these kind of dreams are actually very harrowing experiences for the person who dreams. So suppose suppose say somebody dreams like that, in tremendous detail that an incident will happen. When that incident actually happens, it is tremendous emotional and mental pressure on that person. So we think, oh, great Shakti. And actually there is no control over this Shakti also. So it is not that the person can think and dream. It is all automatic. But it is very common also. It is not something very rare. Many people dream like that.
Can we stop this dreaming process in any way?
Why do you want to stop? If you stop dreaming, you will become mad. So dreaming is as essential to your life as taking food. I told you, no, psychologically this is very important. That is why people, when they don't sleep, you see they become irritable, all these things. Dream is very important. So why at all you don't? Only thing when you will not dream, only one condition when you will not dream, or one state is that when you become enlightened, then you will have no dreams. When you have knowledge, either in the Buddhist sense or in the Hindu sense or Jain sense, you go to Samadhi and then you will have no dreams. At least that is what the scriptures say. So that is a different thing. But even then we see that some great people had dreams. Some great Mahapurusha, after getting that Samadhi also they had dreams. So that we cannot explain. As of now, you should have dreams. Okay, don't try to. Because I knew a person, I have told here earlier, a person read this book by Carlos Castaneda and he became mad. A person from Iran. And I had the misfortune of meeting the person anyway. So he became complete schizophrenic. So these things are, apparently it seems so, so innocent. But things related to the mind are very tricky. We should not meddle with those things. Yes?
You have told us the experience that the person who made Ramana Maharshi, why he has taken up to that kind of life, not taking food properly and not just sleeping in one place. Why is he taking that kind of life?
I don't know, because I don't know, and I also don't think anybody will be able to tell because he never talked. So some inner transformation he got. And you know what? Why should he tell? I think many times. Why should he tell? Because what he got as inner transformation, you or I may not get or will not get. So why should he bother about and tell all these things?
The Maharishis tell their own experience so that it sometimes helps other people.
No, that many people. You see, Ramana Maharshi was asked the same question. He was asked this question that Ramakrishna came and he created a big order. Swami Vivekananda, he gave the responsibility and all. And you have come and you are not even initiating anybody, you are not making also disciples. So Ramana Maharshi never made any disciples. Those people who were close to him, they started calling themselves his disciples. Ramana Maharshi never gave initiation, nothing. Just used to tell, and also very rarely used to speak. Most of the time used to be mum. And there was a great influence, just his presence used to create. So when he was asked this question, he said, you see, in every age, a power comes for such great work to be done. Organization. And if you go through the religious history, how many people could create a monastic organization of such a huge order? Jesus Christ, Buddha, and then afterwards? Sri Ramakrishna, not Swamiji. Sri Ramakrishna. Shankaracharya did not create. He actually organized already, but it was not also a monastic organization. All the sadhus separately they live, only Dashanami Sampradaya. It was not that all the sadhus come together in one Sangha. The Sangha concept was found only in Ramakrishna mission is the first organized monasticism in Hinduism. Before that there was no organized. Different rishis and sadhus live in different kutiyas. So this was found earlier in Buddhism and afterwards in Christianity. Buddhism is older, 2500 years.
Buddhism after Hinduism. Buddhism came from Hinduism.
But organized monasticism was first in Buddhism, Sangha concept, and then in Christianity, and now in Ramakrishna mission. That is in Hinduism.
Now
Yes.
Drug initiated sleep, does it have a follow-up or gives the record of
What? Drug initiated?
sleep?
Huh.
Does it have any dream effect?
Yeah, it has got dream. You have dreams. People, now many people take sleeping pills. They have dreams. Yes. Like anesthesia, somebody was asking. Anesthesia also has got dream. Yes.
This is different kind of question altogether.
Huh.
Recently, a devotee of Ramakrishna mission has died. Happened to be very famous. So she was a mumukshu. Do you have any that information? She was a great mumukshu.
Mumukshu means what?
That is desiring for not having reward.
How do you know that?
I came to know this.
No, no, how do you know that?
by reading some.
No, by reading, who told that? Did she herself say that?
She narrated the story somewhere in the Ramakrishna.
No, you read in some newspaper.
Vartaman.
You see, whatever. You see, mukshu means a person who has got strong desire to get liberated. And that is very rare. That is very rare. Even among people who have taken to monastic life, it is very rare. They will say that, yes, I will take another birth to do the service of Lord, etc., etc. And we cannot know whether a person is mumukshu or not. To know that, either you will have to be of a great spiritual caliber.
She was praying, which
So this prayer is very common. This prayer, if you go to Ramakrishna mission, almost the second person, every second person is praying that Amara Dorkarni. But how much is actually true, we don't know. Not only in Ramakrishna mission, I mean elsewhere also. Everyone prays. Oh Baba, Thakur gives the example, when a woman is pregnant, when she is going through labor pain, she says, oh, I will never have another child and all that. And the moment maybe now things have changed, but or a person, now in today's context, a person goes into a relationship, and you know that Facebook relationship cycle I have been telling. Single, committed, in a relationship, committed, then married, then complicated, divorce and single. So then the person, what does the person do? Does the person says, no, henceforth I see a boy, or if I see a girl, I will never talk, etc. And for all you know, within 2 days, again. And so Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of camel eating cactus. So camel eats, and all the thorns, it actually injures the camel, so much of blood is pouring, but still what does the cactus do? So it says, oh Baba, I want, and he also narrates an incident that a person was there and he had some fight with his wife and said, na, and he went to Kashi, Dorkarni, Grihastha Ashram, and he went to Kashi. After some time he wrote a letter, I have got a good job here, so I will come. So mumukshu and all, that is why in Vedanta it is given, the example is given. Deepta Shikavat, suppose your head is burning, you will go in search of water. Or the parable which again Sri Ramakrishna cited, that the guru dips the head of the disciple and puts it under water, and you gasp for breath. So that is very rare to be seen. I am telling you, even among monks it is rare. They say, suppose somebody, you ask, okay, don't you want to come in the next birth? Then immediately the person will say, is it so easy? You see, even the sankalpa, even the thought, even the resolve that I will not come. In Tattwabodha we read, no? What is that? Moksho may bhuyat, right? Like, let me be free. Even this people can't say. It's not that easy. This is the last straw on the camel's back.
why they became monk?
No, they became monk because they have been thinking about God for so many years, so many births, and that is why they become monk. But just becoming monk, maybe they will be monk for 2-3 births and then they may. So you see, this is sadhaka, just by becoming sadhaka. Again, the parable of Sri Ramakrishna. So Sri Ramakrishna has made our life simpler with so many parables. So he says that there was a person who was sitting on the branch of a tree, and below he was seeing that there was a corpse and a person was doing Shava Sadhana. There is in Tantra a sadhana or a spiritual practice when somebody sits on the dead body and does lot of rituals and meditation, etc. So the person was doing for a long time. And then tiger came and had breakfast. So tiger's thing I have told, no? One person like me was going in the forest, maybe Ramakrishna mission bhakta and devotee. And then a tiger came in front. So then he was very happy. Then the tiger, what does the tiger do? The tiger put one paw like this on his shoulder and closed eyes. So this person was happy. I go to Ramakrishna Math and all, listen to lectures, do some japa, etc. So now the tiger is not going to kill me. So he said, tiger uncle, Bag mama, you're so nice, you're not going to kill. So the tiger said, you fool, keep quiet, I'm doing Brahmarpanam. Because in Ramakrishna mission, before taking food, we do Brahmarpanam. So he is also offering. So like that, he had this breakfast, this tiger. And then he saw that, okay, everything is arranged. This all puja, everything is arranged. Let me come down, and why spoil the thing? So let me go and do some Shava Sadhana. So he sat on that dead body, and within 5 minutes, Divine Mother has appeared. So she says, okay, I have given you darshan, etc. So he says, but it is unfair. The earlier fellow was there for so much time, and he did all these elaborate arrangements. And he was made a breakfast of tiger. And I have come just now, and you have given me the complete realization. So she says, no, you have done all these things in your earlier births. So we just see the ultimate thing. Like in relationships, what happens? Suddenly somebody has not made coffee and a person gives divorce. Can it ever happen? Can anybody divorce another person on a coffee? So it is not coffee. That is the what you call tipping point. That is the final thing. So before that coffee, there were so many other things. No, not issue. That was the final thing. The final thing when the bubble burst. So before that, so many other things are there. That led to that, snowballing effect. So that is what. So our lives also like that. It is not... so this mumukshu thing, just you're talking about Suchitra Sen. So I don't know. I have no idea. And to tell also, we can't say so simply. Some person who is an illumined soul, if we ask that person, maybe that person may be able to tell. But otherwise, we don't know. Any other question? Yes. As far as I know, he saw in one dream, one or many dreams, when he was in the jail, presidency jail in Kolkata. There is some kind of thing happened and he got. Now these things can happen, and not all things can be explained. Probably it was something divine, we don't know. Or probably it could be also some psychological thing, because he had read all the works of Swami Vivekananda. So he got some inspiration, it could be. Or seeing what he became in the later life, he went and created an ashrama. It could be some divine experience. Because both Aurobindo and Vivekananda are not present, we cannot tell anything about this. Now honestly, it is these things, and I think these things we need not break our heads upon. No? Because these things, can you do it in your life? No. Can I do it in my life? No. But Aurobindo or Vivekananda have told so many things which we can follow. So I think let us concentrate on those things. Is it clear? What you are asking is a shortcut solution. What you are actually wanting, or to put in one word, dreaming for, is that somebody will come and tell you something and you will do. And things will be very arranged and given to you. No. Why should we do that? We have access to all these books. We have access to Gita, we have access to Aurobindo's complete works. Everything is available online. We have access to Swamiji's complete verse. Why don't we simply read it in waking state and do what we can do in waking state? Let us make use of the resources what we have in waking state. And as you saw, the text says, whatever you do in waking state is what will happen in the dream. So if you want Vivekananda to guide you in the dream, Logically, you should read Vivekananda more in the waking state. If you read Vivekananda more in the waking state, I believe he will guide you in the dream also. Is it okay? No. You see, you have to do only what is within your control. Okay. Now whether your dream you can control. Can you control? Huh? Can you control your dream? No, now you cannot. You cannot control your dream. But what you can control is your waking state. So control that. Even in your waking state, you cannot control miracles. You cannot control how this person will behave or that person will behave. You can control what you can behave. So you do that. You control what you can, and then you will. You see, Swami Vivekananda in another place says, which I have told here many times, that why will gods come flying through air just because you blow your nose 3 times? So no, God also will come and give you grace only to the person who deserves the grace. So are you deserving? That's a question you have to ask yourself. So if you do things, see why Vivekananda, of all the people in Alipur jail, why Vivekananda went only to the dream of Aurobindo? Why not to other people? And I think and I know that many great people were imprisoned at that same time in that jail. Aurobindo was not only great, there are so many other great people. But why Vivekananda went only into the dream of Aurobindo? Why not C.R. Das or any other person? Because probably Vivekananda saw, we don't know, because both Aurobindo and Vivekananda are not there for confirmation, but we can assume that Vivekananda saw that this person deserves. And as we see in the later life and also through his writings, he wrote so many things which are spiritual, right? Aurobindo. We call him Rishi Aurobindo. Why? Because he wrote, and even today to many people, he wrote that wonderful book called Savitri. And so many other things he wrote. Yoga he wrote, so many other things, integral yoga. So why Swamiji went into his dream? Or why he got the dream of Swamiji? So that is what. Now you forget about all those dream business. You concentrate on your waking state. How ethical are you? Our problem is we try to control things which are beyond our control. So there were 2 people, these neighbors. One had been married for 10 years. Another couple had been married for 40 years. And this 10 years marriage, every day tu mein. So every day fighting and every day Kurukshetra, and they were upset. And so this fellow went and asked, "Sir, I see that you are always very happy, both of you, Pati Patni, and you are very happy, and how is that you are happy?" Then he said that, you see, we have done division of labor. Said, "I am here for 10 years only, but I am so much in trouble and you are happy." So this old man said, "We have done division of labor." What is that? My wife decides what will be the food menu. She decides that, about electricity bill, about maintenance of house, what shopping should be done, dresses, about the children, all other things, such petty things she decides. And what I do? I decide the foreign policy of India, what Indian cricket team should do, whether we should have World War III or not. So this is the division of labor. So complete peace. So we try to control things which we cannot control. See, Rishi Aurobindo became great because Swamiji's dream he got. If I also get Swamiji's dream, I can also become great. What is the great deal in this? That is how we talk generally. Oh, they are great people because Kali showed vision to Sri Ramakrishna. That is why he becomes Sri Ramakrishna. If I get Kali vision also, I will also become Sri Ramakrishna. Many people are there, believe me, who talk like that. So no, you have been given so many resources. You try to, Swami Vivekananda says that karma, what I am today, is the result of what I did in the past. But what do? We go to an astrologer and show our hand. And we are such foolish people because that astrologer is sitting on the roadside and taking 5 rupees for every hand. Okay. So if he had so much of knowledge of palmistry, he would have become a multi-billionaire. He has not become. That means what? So I have told this incident many times. In front of our college, one college we have in Belur, Vidya Mandir. There one person was sitting and selling these stones. Oh, this has happened to you, you put this stone and that stone. And I see nowadays people have all the 5 fingers full of stone only. No muscle, no spinal cord, only stone. So anyway, so this fellow is putting all stones. And one student went there. So the person who was the principal at that time, he called that student and said, don't you have any brains? You are going and telling and asking that person, and why did you put this stone? He said, if you put this stone, you will become very successful. He said, if he had known that, he would have first put that stone. He is in the pavement all his life. So you see, we are, because what we have done in the past, okay? And we call it fate, naseeb, kismat, etc. No kismat, nothing. You are the result of what you have done in the past. But that means, it is wonderful news, because that means what you will be in the future is in your hands. What you do today will create your future. So let us not think of so many things. If you are interested in getting Swami Vivekananda in your dream, first get him in your waking state. How much are you into Rishi Aurobindo or Vivekananda? So you say that Rishi Aurobindo got Vivekananda's dream. If you also want to get such dream, you start reading Vivekananda. Read his life, read his works, think of Vivekananda, try to practice what he did, then probably there is a chance that you will get him in his dream, in your dream. What? Is it satisfactory? To some extent. Okay. Any other question? Yes. Yeah, that is common. Actually, what happens? This is also one of the very common dreams. Suppose we have this to-do list and all that. So sometimes we forget things. I know what you're talking about exactly. No, I know what you're talking. You're talking about something supranormal, is it not? Yeah, I know. So there are 2 things. One is like the to-do list. You have decided to do something you forgot in the waking state, and that is reminded in the dream state. But there are certain things which you don't know. You don't know, but you get. So you are a mother, so mothers get such dreams. No. Other people also get. Oh, don't jump into conclusion. Other people also get. I will come to the incident, what you want to, please share it with us. But other people also get, but mothers get more. Because I know of many such cases where when the child was ill in a hostel, mother immediately understood and called the hostel. It happened in Ramakrishna Mission only. And it is not once or twice, many times it has happened. And mother will suddenly call and ask, how are you? Are you okay? So many people have conveyed. Now please tell me your incident. You see this type of dream, we like that other dream of Vivekananda and Aurobindo's dream about Vivekananda. These are dreams which we should not discuss about. Because these are not dreams which ordinary people get. These are no ordinary dreams. And that is why I don't think we should call it as dream also. They should be called as visions. They are different. That's a divine command which Ramanuja got. Ramanujacharya got. Some people, not only Ramanujacharya or Aurobindo, many people get such comments. I know of people. But this is no ordinary. This also is no ordinary dream. This you cannot classify as dream. It is vision. Because I know of people who saw dreams of a temple which they have never seen, not even in photograph or internet, nowhere. And they saw it for months together, to the extent of getting irritated. And then they started asking, where is this temple? Because this dream is not going away. And finally they went to the temple. And they were shocked to see uncanny resemblance. So these are all visions. You're telling, okay. There may be a lot of crowd, okay? So if you tell. Where was that? Simhachalam. Yes. So these things are there. These things cannot be explained. And we should also not try to explain these things. These are all different things. These are all divine things. So even that mother thing also, that is also, I believe it is also divine. It has got nothing to. How does a mother who is staying some 1,000 kilometers away know that her son or daughter is ill? It is impossible to explain. So that, as I said, Swamiji said, no, there are so many things undreamt of in the philosophy. So these things should be like ghost. How do you explain it? Okay. Any other questions? No. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.